Hey everybody, how you doing? You are listening to the That's Offensive podcast for Friday, October 13th, Friday the 13th, 2017. And holy good God almighty, it's been a while. It's been a while, hasn't it? Since pretty much May. It has been May since I last did my podcast here. So, yeah, I am moment of your time, yeah. So, yes, it's I'm just wanting to take a moment of your time. We'll see how this works out. But I don't know. I'm tagging people on my Facebook and all that crap, so apologize for the moment here. But yes, it's been a while. It has been a while. I've been thinking about doing this podcast yet again for many months. And so I apologize for taking so damn long. Because I've been MIA for a while. MIA, that's for damn sure. I've what have I been doing? You know, what have I been doing college yet again. Still got the college excuse. I don't know. I was listening to a lot of Young Turks and Ben Shapiro, that Kakla blah blah guy, and Ben Shapiro debates, and I was listening to a lot of Milo stuff. I was listening to a lot of other political stuff. The whole NFL. The whole NFL kneeing during the anthem stuff. And so, yeah, it's just, it's been a lot of things that's been spewing through my brain the past couple months. Little in the past 6 months. So, yeah, I'm just curious. What are your thoughts on it? I mean, obviously, spending 6 months or so of my time not acknowledging everybody here, and then automatically going into what do you think? Is not a good route, but I'm still very curious. That's one thing that's one reason why I didn't like my last podcast, is that there's very little participation in questionnaires and what was going on, what were your thoughts. Ash, before certain people get pissed off, Ash and Rach and a couple other people. There's a couple other people that did their thing. And I'm bad with names, so there you go. But Ash and Rach have been very loyal, and there's a couple other people that have been very loyal. They have their own podcasts and all that stuff. I'm very sorry, I forget the name. But hell, why do I care? Because this is gonna be deleted here soon. I just had to put this out there for a little bit here, because I couldn't just not do a podcast, and after all this crap. I mean, there's been so much stuff that's been going on. So much stuff. The whole, one thing that I can think about is the whole Trump Korea thing. Well, what do you mean? Like, what's it just anything to do with Trump and Korea? That's a big one. And then Iran, Trump and Iran, the UN, Israel, Pakistani relations, all that good stuff. And then, of course, you got to go back into the domesticated life, I guess, if you will. And that is the sitting of the national anthem. The sitting of the national anthem when it comes to the NFL players, and of course the NBA is going to get into it, and we'll see what happens with that in the next couple days here, because obviously it's preseason and it's not really publicized. Even though if you've been watching your NBA team, I mean, who knows? They might have been doing the same thing. They might have been kneeling. Who knows? But during the season, of course, there's going to be kneelings or protests, or at least some type of protest. So, of course, you got to look at the protests. The whole conservative side, it's disrespecting our flag. It's disrespecting our veterans, which is the whole point of the whole thing. To where we can be together as one during our national anthem, to where we can respect our veterans, especially to where we can respect our people and respect our officers, firefighters, etc. People who give their lives for this country. And well, for anybody that's listened to this podcast, is how I feel about I would hope that you'd at least have an inkling of a recurrent, whatever the word is, I don't know, is how I feel about the whole what the message is with the NFL protests. I've never spoke about this because I stopped doing my podcast during that time. But Black Lives Matter, that's a big one. Black Lives Matter. Yes, they do. Well, the whole Trump talking about banning people, or not banning people, talking like a liberal here, liberal, firing people, get them the hell out and all that stuff for kneeling. Well, Trump is becoming, with the whole kneeling thing, he's becoming to a degree of he's becoming a First Amendment hater, if you will, or a feminazi and all that stuff. He's becoming that type of person when it comes to that issue, at least. Because apparently, all those people that died for that flag, for the country, for their people, for their families, for the hope that this country, or the country that they represent, will be prosperous and equal and righteous and true under the names of the Constitution, that they fight for that. And when people kneel for that, that is a huge disrespect to those people. Well, to a certain degree, when people kneel, the Kaepernick crap, of course I talked about this before, the whole hiatus thing. I wouldn't call it hiatus, but that's the only thing that came to mind. But hey, before the whole Kaepernick thing, I wouldn't have said that this whole protest kneeling thing would be a disrespect to the troops and all that stuff. But my thing is not that you protest. it's not about that you kneel or stand or whatever it is. My thing is this. Why? What is your message? What is your message? Why do you kneel? Why do you protest? Why do you put your hands up in the air? Why do you do all that stuff? Why? And since one of the other vocal leaders is as a Seattle Seahawk, Michael Bennett, defensive end, I think he's a DE, actually. Michael Bennett, who's been with the Seahawks the first year of their 2013 when they won the Super Bowl. He was with them since that year, just like Cliff Averill. I love the Seattle Seahawks. They've been my team forever. I'm a big lover of the Northwest teams and all that stuff. But I do have my teams that I, root for the most. Oregon Ducks. But if the Washington State Cougar peoples, if they do the thing, then great. I don't care. I want to not have the same fucking people win the goddamn championship, the national championship, the Super Bowl, blah, 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 blah. So, but anyway, Michael Bennett is one of the fellow spokesmen when it comes to that. What was your stance on that? Why are you kneeling? Why are you supporting Kaepernick's message, or at least why are you kneeling? And multiple interviews that I've watched 100 times, he says that he is for a very great cause, which I 100% agree with. That he wants to support inequality. Great. Beautiful. Love it. Love it. Okay. You want to support inequality. What's going on in the streets? Okay. Black people being shot by police unjustly. Okay. I definitely support that. We need to fight that because it's disgusting and evil. Okay, cool. And then we need to fight police killing people of color. Okay, cool. Yeah, definitely support that. And then he goes into another category. It's like, wait, what about white people? Like, what about white, for some reason, saying, hey, white people don't get, please don't let us get killed too, is for some fucking reason, it is a crazy, racist, alt-right, that's a new thing that I haven't got into yet, alt-right thing to get into. That is that is one of the other buzzwords that the left and the media get into. And of course I'm going to sound like some conservative, and the liberals, I could give a shit. I think they're both cunts. They're both evil, disgusting, tribal douchebags. Tribal douchebags. Ugh. Tribal cunts. I hate tribalism, especially when it comes to politics. Ugh. Evil. But they sure as hell love their tribalism. Liberals do. Especially and mainly when it comes to victim complex shit. So, again, Michael Bennett. People of color. Black people. No mention of white people. But he supports equality, yet he doesn't mention white people being unjustly killed. And there's a story out there, at least just one of the easy little things you can mention, is an autistic boy, white boy, was in a car seat because he's autistic and he had a lot of mental and physical, obviously. What do you call them? What's the politically correct? He was fucking physically and mentally handicapped, emotionally handicapped. He had a lot of shit going on with him. He was in the car. He was in the back seat in a car seat, and his dad was in the driver's seat, of course, white guy also. And then when they were stopped, his dad was doing a lot of weird, like, in and out of the car, driving slowly in and out, and he got shot up. And the entire car got shut up. And then the autistic boy got shot in the head multiple times, and his brains were blown out, of course. And the dad got shot multiple times. And the cops that did this were, of course, not white. They were of color. And I don't know, if you support equality, why would you not mention that? Well, that's just one scenario. Even though it's awful, that's just one scenario. Hey, good point. That's a really good point. But unfortunately, white people being unjustly murdered and killed by cops and cops of color and blah, blah, blah is not a rare scenario. It's not at all a rare scenario. Not even close. But yet, white people are neglected by that. That's not equality. The only thing I care about is just don't be a hypocrite. Don't, if you want equality, actually support police brutality and not put a racial tag on it. And then, with Michael Bennet yet again, mentions that he supports and is trying to bring awareness to the violence against women. That whole fucking gag. Again, a very great cause. But yet again, the third wave feminists and social justice warriors have beaten this, no pun intended, to the ground to where's the equality that you're talking about? Breast cancer awareness is coming up soon. All the NFL players are going to be wearing pink. Apparently, the owner of the NFL cares a lot about breast cancer. Good for him, but does he really care about breast cancer? What about prostate cancer? He's employing mainly and almost only men. I think that female offensive coach or one of the coaches from the Arizona Cardinals that got hired on a few years ago. I don't know if she's still there or not. Good for her. Great. I honestly don't really care too much about that. I don't really have any strong opinions about that, But I will say, can't you get your own league type of thing? That's my only 1950s, why do women want to get out of the kitchen? That's the only thing that makes me feel like that, so fair enough. I never said I wasn't a douchebag. But then again, I don't claim I want equality when I've never said that I don't want women employed in the NFL. So, unlike the SJW NFL people that say that they want to protest police brutality, but yet they segregate it to people of color or black people specifically. That's not equality. You have to mention all races, and that they exclude white people. Like I said, redundantly. So, now Michael Bennet is talking about violence against women. Okay. Great cause. There's way too many women being beaten and abused by that piece of crap person they're with. Or just being beaten in general. Females, just in general. Father, husband, wife, mother, daughter, blah, blah, blah. Whatever it is. It doesn't matter. They're being beaten. But why does he segregate it to where it's only about women? Mind you, women have so many resources to go if they're in that scenario. Mind you, it's not cool, not good. They shouldn't be put in that position because they should live in a society where they're free and just, and they should not at all in any way, shape, or form feel like they have to defend themselves just for being women. 100%. But if you're talking about equality goes, where would a man go if he was beaten by his wife, which happens a lot? And unfortunately, it's not, NFL players and that's the new like thing you unfortunately you bring up. That's like the new organization that brings up this whole stereotype about bringing up only women, and it just bastardizes and it stunts the growth of just acknowledging that we human beings need to change. It's not human beings need to change. It's just we men need to change, or we white people need to change, or we cops need to change, or whatever it is. So yeah, my thing is this. If a man is arrested and has a restraining order, even though he was unjustly arrested for domestic violence, even though that his wife was fraudulent and manipulated the cops and lied to the cops, or maybe the cops were discriminating against the guy that was talking about his situation about being beaten by his wife, where does he go? Since there's damn near no adult male centers where you can go when you're a victim of domestic violence, where do you go? Portland has a huge homeless population. Where do you go? Does the guy who was unjustly beaten by his wife or sent out of his home for whatever reason, where does he go? Oh, well, you call your friends, stupid. You call your family. But what if he's out of town? What if he's doesn't live there? What if most of his family is out of town? What if his friends are out of town? What if his friends don't pick up the phone? Where does he go? We can't go home, of course. Well, he was just arrested and he was just released, so where does he go? Well, since there's little to no resource or centers to where adult males, 18 and above, males can go when they are, in a homeless, nowhere to go scenario, where do they go? They go to the homeless shelter, which is very far in between because at least in the Pacific Northwest, in that little segregated area of Vancouver and Portland, there's very few homeless shelters, especially and mainly when you talk about the population of homelessness. Is this guy who is apparently a wife beater, who was actually arrested for beating his wife, even though he didn't, where does he go? I mean, would this place accept him? No. Prison accepts him. Okay. Well, after you get out of prison, what do? You got a restraining order. Where do you go? You can't go home. Again, redundantly so. Where do you go? So it's just like, when you talk about all these, like, poor victim women things, like, you got to make sure that you know that it has a point to it. That has a factual point and to their words, an equal opportunity. It's like, where do you go? Where do you go? And that's the only thing that I hate about these stupid fucking protesting things in the NFL is the fact that they got their shit fucking wrong, and more so that they're hypocrites, is that they talk about how segregation and racism is awful, but yet they don't include white people. And in Michael's Bennett's situation, men also. It's how are you going to fight inequality with inequality? Fight fire with fire? Is that really how stupid we are? But unfortunately, we are. Like through feminism, they fight sexism with sexism, or what they think is sexism with real sexism. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Makes no sense. What is your message? It seems like today everybody wants to be Martin Luther King. All these social justice warrior cunts want to be fucking Martin Luther King. They all want to be this. brilliant, revolutionary genius and persuasive and well-educated and well thought out and righteous individual, but yet they're 12 and 20 and they're in college, or they're an NFL player that thinks that they know what discrimination is, but yet they fucking don't. And mind you, Michael Bennett, if you guys already haven't like even thought this through, which of course you have, is that Michael Bennett was talking about discrimination, and Pete Carroll and the entire, the Seahawks organization was talking about how Michael Bennett was a victim of racism in the police department. Really, oh God, that same old fucking narrative. If you look at the video evidence and what the police said and what Michael Bennett said, there's a bit of a confliction there. And I'm not a big believer in what police say, especially when they don't have evidence. But mind you, the person that allegedly tackled and arrested and pulled the gun in the head and all that stuff didn't have the video cam on at the time, but everyone else did. That's pretty fishy to me. That would make me go, whoa, damn, Michael Bennett, what the hell did you see during that shit? All right. But when you see all the other police video evidence, you see what they said that they saw. Michael Bennett hunching down, running away. And mind you, for some reason, this we're so empathetic towards the victims. And mind you, if I had a gun pointed at my head, I sure as hell would be fucking scared and pissed off. Especially if I survived, I'd be pissed off. Especially if I had this false narrative of, oh, black people are victims, blah, the same old thing. I sure as hell would be pissed off as all hell that I had yet another quote unquote white cop, which he wasn't white, point the gun at my head. He was Latino, but we'll just pretend he's not a person of color. We'll just skate past that. Of course, that's what they did during this scenario. Of course, it's convenient when it's convenient how they do when the right, all these fucking Milos and Ben Shapiro's and all these other right people talk about like identity politics and how bullshit it is. This is a scenario of where it is. Like they say white cop kills black person, and it's like, holy shit, this evil white person cop killed this innocent black person. Like, holy shit, this happens all the time. Crazy. And then when it's Michael Bennett and another black or Latino or non-white person, it's like, yeah, cops pull the gun, put it on the head, and, get on the ground, fucker, blah, screamed and yelled. Wait, these cops were white. Wait, why didn't you mention that? Oh, because they weren't white, okay. Oh, what about the Milwaukee riots? Remember that shit back in the day? A year ago, or whatever it is? A black cop who they thought was just a cop or a white cop. That's what news said, and many articles said a white cop or a cop killed an unarmed black person, which was actually not true because the black person had the black suspect had a gun, which was apparently not licensed to him, a legal firearm, which is a felony, of course, which could kill a lot of people. The liberals love the whole gun thing. So why do you not attack the whole, like, a black person having illegal firearms and at least illegal to his name, all that stuff? No? Okay. And I don't hate liberals and I don't hate Republicans, but my God, they make it so easy to hate them. Abortion, you're a fucking, oh, Jesus, you're a Satan, you're evil. How could you kill dead babies? Oh, it's really that cut and dry? Okay. It's really that cut and dry? Really righties? Is that cut and dry? Okay, fair enough. And well, read some more of your Bible scripture, you fucking nutcases. Ugh. And then the liberals, you know it is what it is. White people are evil, blah, blah, blah. So, it's just, I don't know, have some consistency with equality. Not consistency in your bullshit arguments. Consistency in your argument. You want equality, you gotta mention everybody. One thing that's interesting is the fact that they don't talk about women when it comes to cops killing them. They talk about men, black men, of course. They talk about black people and men, but they don't specify that. And like, let's look at this for just a quick second. What about all the women that were killed unjustly by cops? And the racial stuff and the gender stuff and blah, blah, blah. I've very little seen that at all. Why? I don't know. It makes no sense. Have some sustain with your argument. I don't know. Well, like always, I'm going to end this on a really, really rough note. But like I said, this is just a rough moment. This is going to be deleted very soon, so I just wanted to reach out to everybody to make sure that you all know that I'm still there to a degree. I'm getting shit figured out. I'm going to start my podcast up again within the next month. That is a 100% fact. I'm not messing around. And I'll make sure I got it on Twitter, and Ash is going to, of course, do her very generous marketing, which, of course, without her, I would have shit for audience. So, Ash, of course, the queen over here, and the other people that have been following me, all of Ash's friends, I, of course, thank you profusely for listening to this gibberish. Months back and all that good stuff. So I appreciate you so much. Yeah, I've been going through some transitions, not through the gender norms of the spectrum's norms, but yeah, I just been occupied. I've been very, very lazy. There's just been a lot of stuff that's been going on that I've been needing to take care of, and but mind you, it's just pure laziness. So anybody that's been that has just, I don't know, respected this podcast by just listening to it for 5 seconds at least, I don't know. I just appreciate you guys. Appreciate it very, very much so. Ash, of course, is a huge, huge contributor to this podcast. I mean, and Rach too. So but still, it's like Ash. She's in that like Spreaker world and all that crazy stuff. So she's been really giving me some noise here. Regardless if you guys listen to it for 5 seconds or an hour or whatever it is, But yeah, before I close here, I want to make it noted that within the month, I am going to get my podcast started yet again. I got shit ton of material. That's one good thing, is that I haven't stopped looking at material. I haven't stopped doing. The only thing that I stopped was my podcast. So I apologize for leaving you guys in the dark, even though that sounds pretentious and douchey, because you got better things to do than listen to my stupid podcast. But I got a shit ton of material that is entertaining. I got a lot of takes on it, of course, and my buddy my JR, my brother, whatever you want to call him, he's going to be joining the podcast, of course, much more regularly because he has got other things working out for him and all the good stuff. We'll get into that later, but, it won't just be me babbling on. And that's the thing. I hate babbling on by myself, and that was a big one, too. I want people calling into the podcast. I want to talk to people. I want to hear people's opinions. I want to talk to people and debate with them or disagree with them, whatever the hell it is. I just want to hear people's opinions and work with them and work around them and whatever it is. I don't care. I just want to hear it. So, this podcast here is going to be changed to a degree. Yeah, it's going to be changed to a degree. But it's hopefully not going to lose its its goodness. It's definitely going to stay offensive, of course. I would tell you that I'm going to change the title of the podcast to something else, But it's going to stay the That's Offensive podcast for sure. I don't want to scare anybody or make anybody nervous that I'm going to change to a dramatic degree. I want to make this thing into a more entertaining podcast. And you people letting me know, use peoples. Yeah, that's right. That's a microaggression. Use peoples are going to let me know what you would like to hear, what you'd like to think. And mind you, that's not going to dictate all of it. I just want to hear your voice and work with you guys and hear you and go off you guys. That's what I like. That's what I want. So, on that note, things are going to be changing here. It's going to be a lot more professional and organized. I'm going to do my best to kick Ash in her ass to join my podcast, for me to join her podcast, so we can talk and have fun and talk about good shit, bad shit, whatever the fuck it is. I want to make this shit real, entertaining, and fun, but also compelling, But I don't want to make it segregated like I did in the past. That was a big one, too. I don't make it segregated to where I'm just bashing feminism, third wave feminism. It's not entertaining. It's just, ugh. It's fucking... That's a big thing. I got bored of my own voice hearing myself talk about this shit. Which, a nice little chunk of it was that. But I got all this source of material here that I'm going to bring up. So, babbling on. Just want to let you know, I haven't forgot about you guys, and I appreciate your support. All for you. I love it. Thank you very much. Ash, you're amazing. Rach, you're amazing. Thank you for listening and doing all that stuff. Appreciate it. And I'm going to figure out a schedule. I'm going to get a That's Offensive podcast logo that Ash is going to help me with. She knows what I'm talking about. Ash is going to help me with the logo because I already got exactly what I want. And Ash is smart enough to do it. And I'm just too much of a dope to do it myself. Or too lazy. Whatever one you like. But it's going to happen within the month of October. My birth month. Ooh. I am going to make this podcast legit to where it's organized and clean. Not in material. Not in censorship. Not all that stuff. To where it's clean. To where you can go, okay, this is when it's on. Going to set this schedule here soon. So, tomorrow and next few days, this is pretty much the last time that you're going to hear the That's Offensive podcast sporadically and all crazy and all mumbly and jumbly. I'm going to and have found a rhythm to where you actually know when the hell this thing's going on. Alright, I'll give you all the Twitter information, the hashtaggy douchebag shit, and Facebooky stuff, or whatever it is, YouTubey stuff, whatever it is. But I'm gonna make it work. I'm gonna figure it out, and Ash is gonna help me. And I'm excited. I'm very excited. Way too much stuff has been going on. So yeah. I gotta spread my wings and fly. Alright. Anywho, I'm done. On that note, have a good night, you cunts.